They make me wanna scream, and please stop dragging me across the street. They treat me like a baby, outrageous. You know I'm blind, I'm not contagious. Call an Uber for a lift, what's the driver gonna do? 'Cause by God, my dog's gonna get into. We're standing strong, we'll fight it all together. Working every day, we're gonna make it better. No, you're not alone. We care, we share, we grow. From Jersey to LA, everybody let me hear you say, who are we? Oh, who are we? Who are we? If I can't get all my books in Braille and can't use the sets for school, you know I'm gonna fail. Professor, can you read out what you're writing on the board? 'Cause following the law is what they're paying you for. Applying for a job, you know I'm qualified, but then they see the cane and they deny prescriptions and websites and voting at the polls. It's high time, it's all accessible. They say I'm never gonna be prestigious. We both know that's egregious. If I wanna be a doctor or the CEO, they keep on telling me no, no, no. We're standing strong, we'll fight it all together. Working every day, we're gonna make it better. No, you're not alone. We care, we share, we grow. From Jersey to LA, everybody let me hear you say, who are we? Oh, who are we? Who are we? One voice, one love, there's so much we could do. We could raise children in this world we're building, a world for me and you. We could move mountains and mount movements, make a world where we don't have to keep on proving our worth. We're gonna be heard. We're gonna be heard. Who are we? NFB. Oh, who are we? NFB. Who are we? NFB.
Announcement regarding Spanish interpretation. En los controles de su seminario web o reunión, seleccione Interpretación. Luego, seleccione el idioma que quería escuchar. Opcionalmente, si solamente quiere escuchar el idioma interpretado, seleccione Silenciar audio original. Para preguntas o si necesita apoyo, mande correo electrónico a dmccann@nfb.org. Gracias.
Live the life you want, nobody can stop you. Shoot for the sun and break on through. So you're blind, you'll be fine, we got good news. You can live the life you want, yes, we know the truth. Grab a cane, get trained, gotta get moving. Make a change on a wage, that's what we're doing. Come with me, yeah. And live the life you want, nobody can stop you. Shoot for the sun and break on through. So you're blind, you'll be fine, we got good news. You can live the life you want, yes, we know the truth. You and me and a bee, let's Yes, we know the truth. You can live the life you want. Yes, we know the truth.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. And are we out there in Washington, D.C.? Who are we? All right. It's so great to be with all of you. Welcome, everyone, to our October presidential release as we are kicking off Blind Equality Achievement Month. President Riccobono, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Pam?
I am great. It's good to be with you virtually. Sounds like quite a crew there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Energetic crowd for Blind
Good.
Equality Achievement Month. We wish you were here.
I know. We wish we were there with you too. We're there in spirits for sure. We are there for sure. So I know it's been a great convention, already getting things started there today with a busy weekend ahead. I know we have
Absolutely.
a lot
yeah.
of state conventions happening
Definitely.
in October. So
Definitely.
we are very honored to be with you on our great DC affiliate live. So I'll turn it over to you to get things started.
All right, Pam, we got a lot of work to do tonight, and I know you'll probably have questions that people are sending. Just remember, we have to be done by 9:07.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
9:07. You know why, right?
Of course. I know there's some pretty exciting things happening.
Yeah, because Milwaukee's going to beat the Cubs starting at 9:08.
exactly.
9:08. So
We're going to be watching very carefully. We're going to be watching the time so we can celebrate that win.
But of course, we'll do what we need to do.
That's right. Priorities, right?
All right, well, it's great to be with you.
Good to be with you too.
Greetings, fellow Federationists. Tonight is Thursday, October 9, 2025, and this is Presidential Release Live number 52, live from the Washington Plaza Hotel in Washington, D.C. And great to have this as a kickoff to the annual convention of the National Federation of the Blind of the District of Columbia, and we're going to hear more from our affiliate later in this gathering this evening. We do have a lot of business to get to. Just for those that might be tuning in various ways, we are streaming audio tonight, but we're not streaming video. But this crowd looks fabulous, I can tell you that. It looks fabulous. So let's start off by talking about Blind Equality Achievement Month. Since 1940, blind people have taken ownership for speaking and acting for ourselves. And that includes educating the public about the true capacity of blind people, about the truth about blindness. For us, October gives us an opportunity to put an extra big effort, an extra big spotlight on our history that we have made together, and more importantly, our hopes and dreams for the future. What we have achieved as blind people is important and significant. And we need to consider where we might go in the future. Where we want to go is even more exciting than where we've been. And we have not yet found the limits for blind people, and we are not fully integrated into all aspects of society like we'd like to be. So what will be achieved when our blind children have quality and timely access to competent Braille instruction and access to devices like the Monarch? What will we learn from blind people breaking down the barriers in innovative areas like being part of the astronaut corps? And what understanding will be created when we have 5 or 10 blind people serving in the halls of Congress instead of just 1? How will employment opportunities be different when we educate non-blind people from the youngest ages that blindness is just a characteristic that does not limit people from living the lives they want? And how much stronger will our society be when newly blind seniors get access to the resources and especially the understanding of blindness that we share together, and to continue to be able to live in their homes with joy and purpose? This is why we use October to highlight the achievements of blind people working together toward equality, toward the equality that we deserve in society. This is why we share our hopes and dreams and seek ways to enlist allies in helping us achieve those dreams. October is not the only time we do this, but it is an important time for us to bring focus. This month, we put extra energy and imagination into getting out into the public with our message of hope for blind people. We have so much more work to do, and we will make the achievements of the blind come true by working together. We recognize that we are stronger together. We link arms to imagine and build a future full of opportunities. And so, my sisters and brothers, let me be the first to say Happy Blind Equality Achievement Month. To kick off this release and our Blind Equality Achievement Month, I wanted to give just a couple of moments to a gentleman who serves on the National Board of Directors for the Federation, and he serves as president of the National Federation of the Blind of the District of Columbia. He knows a lot about equality and the struggle that blind people face, and he's doing something about it. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Sean Calloway.
Thank you, President Riccobono. My fellow Federationists, especially those out there in Zoom land, I tell you, Blind Equality Achievement Month means so much to me. One of the things I want people to understand is that when you seek equality, you must have confidence in your blindness. Before becoming a Federationist, I did not have much confidence in being blind. Right? But when I became a Federationist, my confidence grew, and I began to seek equality. And that's a big deal when it comes to this month for me. I know many of you have heard many times, and I don't mind continue to talk about my princess. Right? Have no problem talking about my princess. Amen. Because see, I know for a fact, because of the Federation, I'm on equal footing to be a father with anyone, any man in this country, in this world. You can't question my ability as a blind father. I just want to let you all know that when it comes to Blind Equality Achievement Month, always remember, it's your confidence that's going to take you a long way. And it's your confidence that's going to create equality and inclusion for us as all blind people. You are walking awareness. okay? When people see you out in the street, they see a confident, independent blind person. That's what we are as Federationists. And I want you all to remember that. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.
All right, thank you, Sean. All right, we got a lot to talk about this evening, and we've already enjoyed some time here at the DC convention talking about the nature of the work that we do. But I do have a few announcements and things to share with Federationists across the country, and certainly considering that we're here in Washington, D.C., it seems most appropriate to start by acknowledging that there are many pressing issues that we are concerned about and continue to work on within the National Federation of the Blind. But I want to acknowledge that a number of our members, especially right here in DC, but not exclusively in DC, who are blind, are impacted by the government shutdown. Many of them are being asked to continue to do their work, even though they're not being paid. So while we read about and hear on the news about the shutdown, we should recognize that blind people are significantly impacted by this as well. And of course, we've spent a good portion of this year trying to support blind people in this affiliate and others who have been ripped from government positions. So we will continue to advocate for the work that we do while standing with our blind brothers and sisters who are impacted by the broader changes in the government and the inability of Congress to get along, you know? So I just wanted to put that out there to start, because I know it is having a direct impact on the lives of people right here in this room this evening. Now, we got a lot of bills that we're making things happen with, though, in Congress, and I'm really pleased to announce that on Friday, September 26th, we, with the support of Representative Jan Schakowsky of Illinois, were able to get the Medical Device Non-Visual Accessibility Act introduced into the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, as a reminder, this bill will require the Food and Drug Administration to create a set of non-visual accessibility standards for home use, community use, in-home medical devices with a digital screen. And I know many of you who already deal with accessibility issues with those devices today. Manufacturers of these devices will be compelled to make sure that they are accessible. The bill was introduced with 12 originating co-sponsors, which is really significant, especially since we had representation from both parties in Congress. We had co-sponsors from California, District of Columbia, Florida, Georgia, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Texas, Washington, and Wisconsin. So congratulations to those states. And of course, Illinois wasn't on the list, but the sponsors from Illinois. So this is a great opportunity for you to call or email your members of Congress and ask them to support this bill. You know, we've worked hard to get the bill introduced, and so now we need to move it through Congress. The bill number is H.R. 5605, and I encourage you to work on that as soon as possible. I do want to say that our advocacy work is making a difference, and the work that you do to reach out to Congress, let them know about our priorities, does make a difference. Over the past 6 weeks, our advocacy and policy group has sent out 6 separate legislative alerts that all of you across the country have been activated on. Two of these legislative alerts had to do with appropriations or funding matters that we are concerned about in Congress, and 4 of the alerts asked you to call or email members of Congress about specific issues. So I just wanted to quickly remind you about these alerts because they still need your urgent attention. One of the issues that we have asked Federationists to call in support of is the Connect for Health Act, and this bill will preserve telehealth benefits under Medicare, which did technically expire on October 1st. Now, this is not simply a blind issue, right? There's lots of people all over the country who are benefiting from telehealth. In fact, even the doctors like it. But blind people, because we have less access to transportation, we're not allowed to legally drive, and Waymo is not in every place, but it is in DC now, right? Waymo, yeah. That's pretty cool. So, but you still want to be able to get the benefit of telehealth. So we need to help push on that bill. And also, of course, we've had the legislative alerts about our other bills in Congress, the Access Technology Affordability Act, and our website bill. You can read all of the alerts on our website, and if you have already taken action on these 6 alerts, please keep up the pressure. Please follow up with your members of Congress and see why they haven't yet sponsored these initiatives. If they have signed on as co-sponsors, thank them. Call them and thank them for doing it. And if you haven't yet taken the opportunity to talk to members of Congress, now is your opportunity to commit to helping with these bills. It is not too late. We still have to get a number of these issues passed through Congress. How do you find out about the advocacy alerts if you haven't already? nfb.org/advocacy, nfb.org/advocacy. You can read all about it. Well, since we're talking advocacy and since we're right here in the district, it seems appropriate to talk about the 2026 Washington Seminar. Yeah, absolutely. As we approach the end of the year, it is time to think about the Washington Seminar, which will kick off on Monday, January 26, 2026, and will run through Thursday, January 29th. And I bet the DC affiliate will make it a warm and welcoming place, especially with Krispy Kreme. We will again be at the Holiday Inn, Washington Capitol, on the National Mall. It's been a great host to us for many, many decades now, so we know it well. Room rates for the 2026 Washington Seminar are $194 per night. I can tell you that's less expensive than what I'm paying to stay in this hotel this weekend, or we're paying, I should say, and plus tax. And our room block for this event is now open, so you can make your reservations now to stay for our Washington Seminar. Details are available on our Washington Seminar page, which is nfb.org/Washington-seminar. So get your room reservations early because they may go quickly. And we got a lot of work to do, right? So we need 400, 500, 600 people to show up in Washington, D.C. in January. Now, we are in Blind Equality Achievement Month, and this is also known as Disability Employment Month. And so I want to give those who are tuned in a final reminder that we do have coming up later this month a virtual career fair. So all of you job seekers out there who might want to participate, the deadline is quickly approaching. The National Federation of the Blind 2025 Virtual Career Fair will take place on October 28th of this month from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and that will be via Zoom. This is hosted by the Federation's Employment Committee, and this event is free for job seekers, and you must register for the event in advance by October 14th. So you only have till next week, just a few more days, so I wanted to get it in here. For more information, go to nfb.org/employment, and please do so now. We would love as many blind job seekers as possible to be part of this. Obviously, we want to put blind people to work, right? So please sign up if you're interested in some new employment opportunities. Now, we also, as part of observing Blind Equality Achievement Month, want to promote employment for the blind, and so we've scheduled our next Where the Blind Work webinar. It's kind of hard to say, you know, where the blind work. And our Where the Blind Work webinar will, in fact, celebrate employment this month in a very special area, and it's a great opportunity to bring the community together. So this will happen on October 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, again via Zoom, and you will hear from 3 professionals, blind professionals, working in arts and entertainment, which is not something, you know, many of us do, so that's pretty cool. You will have to register for that. Again, it's free, but you can do that also on our employment page. Again, nfb.org/employment. Now, we're also talking a lot this time of year about movement. And a few days ago, we officially kicked off Blind Equality Achievement Month with our announcement about our Matching Gift Challenge campaign for 2025. And this campaign is meant to fuel our progress and advance the lives of blind people by encouraging others to contribute financially to the work of the Federation. So let's kick off our discussion about the campaign by hearing the announcement. It's a sunny and warm Monday afternoon in Baltimore, and the staff at the National Federation of the Blind is coming together to go for a walk at Riverside Park during their lunch break. All right, everybody, let's move!
NFB Walking Club heads to the park.
Why do we move?
Hi, I'm Nikki Jackson, Employment Program Coordinator at the National Federation of the Blind, and I moved to remove employment barriers and help blind job seekers find the careers they want.
Elizabeth Rouse.
I moved because so many people in the NFB moved before me, and it's my turn to pay it forward for the people who come next.
Hi, I'm Karen Anderson, Education Programs Coordinator for the National Federation of the Blind, and I moved to help blind youth reach their full potential.
Riding a recumbent bike.
I'm Chris Danielson, editor of the Braille Monitor, and I moved to help tell the stories of blind people pursuing the lives we want.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Rachel Held, Outreach Coordinator at the National Federation of the Blind, and I moved to build relationships and raise funds to bridge the gap between blind people and their dreams.
Ahmad Shafi at Showdown Table.
I moved because the Federation means family to me.
Traveling on Walking Path.
Hello, I'm Mark Riccobono, President of the National Federation of the Blind, and together with members of our organization across the country, we're on the move to advance opportunities for blind people. Thanks to the generosity of Humanware, during this year's end-of-year campaign, we have a tremendous opportunity to double every contribution that comes in up to $50,000. And we really appreciate Humanware's dedication to helping blind people be on the move so that we can continue to empower all blind people to live the lives they want.
The NFB Walking Club cresting the final hill of their walk.
Move to live the life you want and double your dollars. Give online at nfb.org/donate. Mail a check to National Federation of the Blind, 200 East Wells Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230. Contribute by phone by calling 410-659-9314, extension 2430. Thank you for your support. National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want. All right, so now is an important time for each and every one of us to go out and try to generate contributions to our organization, because that will allow us to match those generous funds from Humanware and get an additional $50,000. Nothing to sneeze at, right? But here's the other cool thing. Now, we're coming up next week on White Cane Awareness Day, right? Wednesday will be White Cane Awareness Day. And so during the week of White Cane Awareness Day, there will be an additional match for any contributions during that week. That means next week, every dollar will be tripled, which is really cool, right? So every dollar donated turns into 3. So what's great is we'd like Federationists to give, but more importantly, you can go out and get other people to give to our organization. You can tell them for every dollar they donate, it'll turn into $3. And there is something more. In addition, thanks to Humanware, there is a bonus opportunity for those who donate to win a Stellar Trek. The Stellar Trek is a device that helps to encourage movement. So movement through exploration starts with knowing where you're going. And during the week of White Cane Awareness Day, which will be October 12 to 19, every contribution that is made during the week will receive an entry to be in a drawing for the Stellar Trek, which is an AI-driven GPS and OCR device from Humanware. So not only can you encourage other people to give, you could get them to put your name in to be entered to win a Stellar Trek. So cool, right? We get to raise money for something we care about and maybe win something. So please go out and promote our movement campaign. And of course, I do want to acknowledge White Cane Awareness Day. It is an important day for blind people. It's a day that all of our affiliates can be proud that because of the work of the National Federation of the Blind, we have laws in all of the places in this country that protects our right to be out in the world with our canes or guide dogs. And that's significant, right? Yeah. So use that White Cane Awareness Day as an opportunity to get out and talk to people about the importance of blind people and the work that we've done to establish our own right to move freely in society. It wasn't that long ago. It was in the 1960s when we started getting white cane laws passed. That's not a long time ago. Not a long time ago when you consider history. There's a lot of other movement stuff happening, and so I want to give you another quick reminder that it is not too late for chapters or individuals to sign up to participate in person or virtually in our Movers campaign. And since we are in DC, I want to encourage all of us here in the room to come walk in person at our Bay Bridge run or walk on November 9th. Who's going to come to the Bay Bridge? Yeah. Okay, I'm counting on you. Now, I'm suspecting those who said haven't registered yet, because I saw how many people registered to walk in person. And we only have, we do have a number of chapters who have signed somebody up to be part of the virtual campaign. There's a lot more chapters out there in the country could sign up to walk virtually, and you can designate someone to be your kind of champion for this. But we'd love to have, especially our local folks here, come out to walk on the Bay Bridge on November 9th. I'll be walking on the Bay Bridge. You can get more information at nfb.org/movers, nfb.org/movers. Okay, in addition to movement, we're preparing for Braille literacy. And in partnership with the American Action Fund for Blind Children and Adults, we're preparing for the next Braille Readers Are Leaders contest. And we're really proud to be a supporter of this contest, and I want all of our Federation chapters to know that this contest is not just for kids, right? We can get our chapters engaging blind adults, maybe newly blind adults, in learning Braille during our Braille Readers Are Leaders contest. More details will be coming out in the next few weeks. The contest will begin in December, and we know that as a community, we can do a lot to support the journey that blind people are on in terms of their literacy and use of Braille, and the Braille Readers Are Leaders contest is a great way to do that. So I encourage our chapters to be preparing for that. Now, I see that people in the room love their iPhones because they're going off all over the place. That's a hint. But since we're talking about iPhones, do you all use podcasts on your iPhones? Okay, good. Some people. Nobody whose phone was going off, though. So I just want to let you know that you can use your phone starting in November to get a very new podcast that we will be launching during the on November 16th, which will be the official 85th anniversary of the National Federation of the Blind. And this podcast will be our new way of delivering Walking Alone and Marching Together, which will bring to life the book by the same name that tells the stories of the first 50 years of the National Federation of the Blind from 1940 to 1990. Now, you will get the content of the book, but you'll also get some extras, and it'll be broken down into manageable segments that we can consume over time. Now, if you have read Walking Alone and Marching Together and you're in this room, say aye. Aye. Okay, fair number. Anybody read it in the last year? Yeah, that's what I thought. So you probably have forgotten some of the cool details, and I noticed that many of you have not read it. Well, because we've broken it down this way, this is a great opportunity for chapters to use it because we've already divided it up, and you'll be able to consume it together in local meetings or maybe have regular discussions about it. So on November 16th, we are going to release 3 episodes of this new podcast in honor of our anniversary week. And after that, we will be releasing an episode, a new episode, each and every week thereafter. In case you didn't know, Walking Alone and Marching Together is 1,116 print pages. It's a long book. So you're going to get podcasts all the way until next September or something. So this is a great tool that our affiliates can use, our chapters can use. Of course, you can find this and all of our publication information, nfb.org/publications. Really eager to hear what you think of this new format, and get your input and advice about how you might like to experience other Federation content in podcast form or other innovative ways. All right, we're going to get to questions in just a minute. I'm going to turn it back to Pam, but I did want to remind everybody that in our recorded presidential releases, we often take Federation family news and share it on the recorded release. So we're generally not doing that on the live release because people said, hey, we still want that at our chapter meetings. So please continue to send information about Federationists who we may have lost. And more importantly, or equally as important, we'd love to hear about new Federation members. And so I have one of those announcements here because I didn't want to let it go because it was already late in getting to me for the release, but I'm really happy to announce, in case you hadn't heard, that on August 6th, Ronan Dean Wong was born, weighing 7 pounds 3 ounces, to proud parents Colin and Destiny Wong. Colin serves as president of our Greater Seattle chapter, and you may know he also serves as president of the National Blindness Professional Certification Board. So I would like our DC crowd to welcome Ronan as the newest member of the National Federation of Blind. One last thing about our Federation family notes is I also invite Federationists and our chapters to send me ideas about topics, burning questions, philosophy items that you would like discussed on our recorded release. We've tried to make our recorded presidential releases more topic focused, and have been trying to push out our announcements through other ways. If you have ideas, or your chapter's grappling with something, or you would love to hear about a topic, because our recorded presidential releases, the ideas, they get played at chapter meetings and then discussed. So please know that your ideas are welcome. And by the way, you can also send your customary endings to me if you want. I'll take recordings as well. And especially if you want to get recordings from little kiddos, that's cool. But just remember, this is family-friendly, high-quality dad jokes. Okay, Pam, I think we're up to Q&A, so back to you.
All right. Thanks, President Riccobono. Wow, we have a lot happening in the National Federation of the Blind, a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have some wonderful questions this evening. So I understand we have a few live from DC. So are we ready with our microphone?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So our first question this evening is from Janice.
They love their phones here in the room, Pam.
Well,
They love them.
I know they're getting ready for our podcast.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Queued up. So our first question tonight is from Janice Samuel. So I'll turn it over to Janice.
Janice? Yes, you
Yeah, you got to mute the mic. That way
All
you can be heard all across the country.
Yeah, we need to hear you loud and clear.
Hello, Federationists. Okay, here's my question. I apologize if it's a little wordy. Okay. other than the Blind Americans Return to Work Act, HR 1175, and the Website and Software Accessibility Act 31417, I don't know, are legislative priorities to increase employment opportunities and accessibility being taken up by the NFB, considering new technology such as AI. So what are we doing other than those two legislative acts?
Is your question about legislation or more broad?
Legislation. So
Okay.
what are we doing to improve employment
Well-
for the blind community other than those two legislative acts?
So, look, employment is a struggle for many reasons. Now, of course, consider also that we have a bill in Congress to create a refundable tax credit so that we can buy our own access technology. We're not reliant on employers and or rehab agencies to get technology. Now, why is this important? Well, if you're seeking employment but you're not eligible for rehabilitation services, or maybe you're a blind person who needs to upgrade your technology at home, because I've noticed our employers don't want us to buy, they don't buy our home technology for us, right? So this tax credit's really important because it will allow us to have personal technology that we can especially use for seeking employment. And the other thing I'd say is, we're monitoring the appropriations process, and I recognize the government doesn't have a budget right now, but we have been monitoring the budget process and the funding levels for rehabilitation programs, for programs that blind people need from the government, and we've been doing that during this budget process. We have a good handle on the funding levels that have been proposed, and we're really glad that so far things like the rehabilitation program are going to be funded. Now, we have a disappointment there, because I know your question was about employment, but we also have been asking the government to put a lot more money into older blind services. Now, some older blind people want to go to work, but a lot of older blind people just need to know and have the services that they can continue to live independently in their homes. And the Older Blind program is woefully underfunded. And unfortunately, at least in the current budget climate, we haven't been able to get more money into that program. So, look, legislation's not going to fix the employment problem with blind people. There are many, many other factors. But one of the big issues is the Blind Americans Who Return to Work Act, right? Because blind people are disincentivized by the substantial gainful activity level. So sometimes you hear agencies for the blind, I won't name any, but sometimes you hear them talk about employment for the blind as though there's a silver bullet. Like you can do this one thing and all blind people will magically work. It's more complicated than that. And so our approach is to legislatively put things in place that will create opportunities. But then we still need to connect with blind people, give them training, right? Get them access to good training, get a community around them that will help them know what to do. When do you disclose blindness? Do I tell them I'm blind on my application, or do I just show up? Things like that. You can only know that by engaging with this community. So I guess that's what I'd say to that. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Janice, for your question. And we have another question from our wonderful audience. This is from Libra Robinson.
Okay, thank you. So my question is, In addition to the presidential release and monthly chapter meetings, what advice would you give to chapter leaders in regards to keeping membership engaged in our organizational priorities?
So what I would say is the first thing would be to make sure that members are up to date on and connected with our publications, right? That members are getting the Braille Monitor and that they're taking the time to read it, whether it's on Newsline, whether it's on a thumb drive, whether it's some other way, making sure that they're getting our flagship publication. Because that's where we can dive deep into some of these things. And another thing is encouraging members to write articles for the Braille Monitor. Well, how is that engagement? Well, if members are writing articles for the Monitor, they're thinking about the topics, the priorities, the things that blind people are talking about, and they're putting it in within their own story. So I think we should spend time talking about these things and making sure that we're answering questions at the local level about these things, and then encouraging members to engage with it. Maybe members of your chapter really don't understand the idea of having a refundable tax credit and how would it work. If you can't answer those questions, well, help write the questions up and share them with our advocacy team, and maybe that could become an article in the Monitor, because other people may have the similar questions. The last thing I would say, I think, is that our job as an organization, we're an advocacy organization, right? And so one way to engage members is to help them feel comfortable going out and talking to other people about our priorities, and talking to members of Congress, talking to friends and family. The more that our members are talking about the issues, the more that they'll be comfortable with the story and why it makes a difference. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Libra, for that great question. And it's wonderful that you talk about the Braille Monitor, President Riccobono, because our next question is asking about how to submit articles for the Braille Monitor.
Well, the Braille Monitor, of course, is our publication. And so we should write articles that we would like to see reflected in the Braille Monitor. Chris Danielson, who you heard on the video earlier, is our editor. He works at our national office. You can call him or write to him at our national office. You might say, well, what's his email address? Anybody know where you find it? NFB.org. I heard NFB.org. Anywhere else? How about at the front of every Braille Monitor? So at least this year, because Chris has only been the editor for this year, so you can find his email address in the Braille Monitor, right at the front where it gives information. His email address is cdanielson, that's S-E-N, cdanielson@nfb.org. If for some reason you forget that, you can also write to communications@nfb.org. But you can also call Chris at our national office. Besides writing an article, you may just have an idea of an article and you might want to talk it out with somebody. Chris would love to talk to you about your ideas and help you shape it. Maybe you have some thoughts, but you think, I'm a horrible writer. Call Chris up. He'll talk to you about it, and if your ideas seem to fit with some good direction of other things, that he might decide to interview you and help you shape that into an article. So get to know our editor and think about writing content And would love to see our DC chapter submit something, you know?
Excellent. Thank you. I know we have a lot of wonderful writers and so many people with stories to share about their experiences. So I know Chris's inbox is going to be full. And speaking of the video, that was an awesome video, and I know we're all really excited about our upcoming walk. I know our chapter is doing a virtual walk, so we're really looking forward to that. And we had a question, and we're very grateful for the generosity of our matching gifts. And could you just remind people again of how they can donate and what's the simplest way to encourage friends and family?
Yeah, so going to our nfb.org/donate is the simplest way to get people to give online donations. And if you're on Facebook or any of the other social media platforms, you can cut and paste content from our website, but nfb.org/donate is the best page online to direct people to. And so you should always remember that. Of course, people can mail checks to us, but you know, many people, most people today, when you have their attention, you can get them to give online, nfb.org/donate. And just keep in mind, donations through the end of the year, at least until we hit the 50,000 mark, will be doubled by Humanware. And next week is a really important time because it will be tripled. So that's what I would say. And if you need ideas or tools on what to do, please call our national office and talk to our outreach group.
Okay, excellent. And we have a question about, we're very excited always to welcome new members into our affiliates. And we had a question from someone who has recently moved to a new state and they have not located yet the list. They're not finding a list of chapters in that state. So would it be appropriate for them to reach out to the state president?
Yes, always appropriate to reach out to the affiliate president. You know, chapters sometimes wax and wane a little bit. Sometimes they need to be reorganized. And so if you haven't been able to find information, especially on the affiliate's website, all of the affiliate contacts are on nfb.org under About Us. Definitely reach out to the affiliate president via phone or email. And if you really have trouble connecting with someone in the affiliate, definitely call us at the national office. This would be a great question to connect with our membership committee on. But we definitely want to get you connected in your new federation community. The other thing I would say is, you know, a good way to get introduced, especially if you're moving to a new state, is to ask your past affiliate president from the state you moved from to introduce you to the new affiliate president.
All right. So I know President Riccobono, and just think of it, in just a few short minutes, I know a very exciting big game is going to be starting. So, and look we timed it perfectly.
Yeah, we got lots of time.
I want to thank everybody. We had some great questions tonight and wonderful interaction from our audience in DC. I know this is just the beginning to what will be a wonderful convention. I know this weekend, and I know there are conventions all around our country happening this fall and the next several months. So lots of great events for Blind Equality Achievement Month. It has been great to be with everyone tonight. Thank you again. And if we didn't have a chance to get to your question this evening, our incredibly, wonderfully talented communications team will be following up with you. So again, thanks everybody and our audience for sharing your questions and everyone who submitted. Thank you and everyone for being with us tonight.
you can contact President Riccobono at 410-659-9314 or via email at officeofthepresident@nfb.org. Thank you again, and I will pass it back to you, President Riccobono.
All right, thank you very much, Pam. Appreciate it, and glad to be with you this evening. Pam and I had the opportunity to be together representing the Federation in Brazil about a month ago. The National Federation of the Blind plays a key leadership role with blindness organizations around the world because of what all of us have been able to do together in terms of sustaining a movement that's truly blind-led, blind-centered, and blind-driven. And our leadership, meaning the leadership of our organization as a whole on the world stage, we are really looked at to be the example of what other organizations of blind people should be doing. And certainly an honor for Pam and I to represent this movement at the World Blind Union, but we're very well aware that it's because of the individual grassroots effort that happens within our organization, and that each and every one of you have a voice and a say in what happens in our movement. And so I want to thank you for that opportunity to represent all that each and every one of us stand for. And I think that that's one of the best ways to close this Blind Equality Achievement Month Presidential Release Live, because our experience at the World Blind Union was that so many blind people in other countries, they're so hungry for what we, I think, sometimes take for granted right here in our country. We've worked hard to build a community of blind people, and community just doesn't happen, right? It takes real effort, it takes real emotional intelligence. Sometimes takes taking a step back and making sure that we can really do what we need to do to be part of a community, because there's there's not an I focus in community, right? Sometimes we have to make sacrifices for others in our community. Blind people all over the world would love to have what we take for granted in this organization, sometimes on a daily basis. And so this is my plea to each and every one of us in this Blind Equality Achievement Month. Don't just celebrate what we've done. Really take ownership and recognize how precious it is, and that the only way it will continue to be available to us is if we continue to nurture and feed it. Before I get to the customary endings, let me thank our hosts here at the NFB of the District of Columbia. Yeah. Our communications group back in Baltimore, thank you for keeping all the right things plugged in at the right places. Want to send our well wishes to Will Schwatka, who's not running the AV tonight because he's had some medical procedures. So Will, we're thinking of you. And to our Washington Plaza Hotel AV team, thank you for your work. Let's give them a round of applause. And so I do have some customary endings, and since we're in DC, they are DC focused. So, what is the tallest building in Washington, DC? Washington Monument, the Capitol, I heard. I didn't hear the right answer. The right answer is the Library of Congress, because it has so many stories. Now, why can't you just go to one Smithsonian museum? Well, because you have to see them all. Now, parking is sometimes an issue in Washington, D.C., but where can you always find free parking in Washington, D.C.? Well, of course, that would be on 495 during rush hour. All right, now this one is for Sean Calloway, but hold on, let me put my Milwaukee Brewers Central Division champions hat on here. Now, why did the Washington Nationals hire a baker? Well, because they needed a new batter. Let's go build the National Federation of the Blind.
The preceding message is brought to you by Mark Riccobono, President, National Federation of the Blind. 410-659-9314. Office of the President at nfb.org. Follow President Riccobono on Mastodon. Just search for @president@nfb.social. Let's go build the National Federation of the Blind.